Obedience to God is the key to supernatural success, divine lifting, protection, prosperity, and the fulfillment of destiny. The book teaches that God values obedience more than sacrifice, and every act of obedience sets a believer up for a life of dominion, favor, and divine guidance. Chapter by chapter summary. Chapter 1. Obedience, God's demand for His children. God's ultimate demand from every believer is obedience. Obedience is the foundation for walking with God. Amos 3:3. Scriptural examples like Abraham, Noah, and Moses prove that no one rises with God without obedience. Obedience is not optional if you want divine direction and fulfillment. He quote, "Every act of obedience positions you for divine attention." Chapter 2, the blessings of obedience. Obedience brings tangible rewards, material, spiritual, and eternal. Referencing Deuteronomy 28:1-14, obedience attracts supernatural promotion, health and longevity, dominion over enemies, fruitfulness and prosperity. Every instruction from God is for our benefit, not His. Insight. Your level of obedience determines your level of blessing. Chapter 3. Obedience, a proof of love. Love for God is validated by our willingness to obey Him. Jesus said in John 14:15, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Obedience is not just an act. It is an expression of deep love and trust in God. Important note, no one can claim to love God while walking in disobedience. Chapter 4. Prompt obedience. Delayed obedience is disobedience. Prompt obedience is crucial because every divine instruction is time-sensitive. The story of Abraham offering Isaac shows how instant obedience attracts generational blessings. Procrastination in obeying divine instruction can lead to loss, danger, or missed destiny. Wisdom nugget: obeying God on time is obeying God in full. Chapter 5. Total obedience. Partial obedience is equal to disobedience. King Saul lost his throne because of partial obedience. 1 Samuel 15. God expects complete compliance with His instructions, not selective adherence. Total obedience reflects complete surrender to divine authority. Key lesson: your destiny can only be preserved when you obey God totally. Chapter 6. The cost of disobedience. Disobedience disconnects a person from God's presence and blessings. It can lead to delay, destruction, and loss of destiny. Biblical examples: Adam and Eve lost Eden. Saul lost his kingship. Jonah faced calamity. Disobedience opens the door for demonic oppression and spiritual vulnerability. The spiritual truth: every act of disobedience attracts consequences, visible or hidden. Chapter 7. Obedience and divine direction. Obedience is a prerequisite for enjoying God's leading. God guides those who are willing to obey. Isaiah 30:21. Direction determines distinction. Without obedience, divine guidance will be absent. God will not speak to someone He knows will not follow His instruction. Insightful reminder: divine instruction is useless if you won't follow through. Chapter 8. How to walk in obedience. Stay in constant fellowship with God through prayer and the Word. Cultivate a humble and teachable spirit. Be spiritually sensitive and quick to act on God's Word. Surrender your will to God. His ways are always higher and better. Avoid sin, rebellion, and spiritual complacency. Practical step: make obedience a lifestyle, not a seasonal action. Notable lessons and quotes. Obedience is the bridge between God's instruction and your manifestation. Until your obedience is complete, your dominion cannot be established. God's instructions are not suggestions. They are the pathways to distinction. Application and conclusion. Pastor Ibiyeomie concludes that obedience is the master key to a life of exploits in the kingdom. It is not enough to hear God's word. Acting on it is what provokes divine results. Every believer must make it a priority to obey God joyfully, promptly, and totally. Obedience may sometimes seem difficult or illogical, but every instruction from God carries your miracle. Choose to obey, and you will walk in unending victory and fulfillment. Like and subscribe for more insightful and faith-lifting book summary. Do well to get a copy of this book today.